Hey guys, Casas Tyne here with another New York Football Giants video. I know it's been a while since I've made a Giants video. I think it was basically once the season was done. So please forgive me. Of course, there was plenty of videos to make between then and now. Of course, the big one was the fact that Dable and Shane did not get fired, which I completely disagree with. I think they should be unemployed at this moment. But we move on. We move on. We accept our fate as Giants fans. We're going to be another, we're going to still be in the basement of the NFC East. Of course, the storylines of Jameis Winston, Russell Wilson signing, a veteran tandem signing for the New York Giants, adding much needed experience to our quarterback room. There's plenty of things to talk about, and I'll give you a short, opinion about Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. I think if our defense is as good as it should be, Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston don't really have to win us games. But then again, we have Shane Bowen as our defensive coordinator, who I am not a big fan of. Just look at last year. Our defense was not as good as I expected. I was excited to see our defense play, and I was really, struggling to enjoy watching our defense play last year. But those are my thoughts. I think it's a safe option, and I think it's the best that we can do. It's not like we're going to go out and make whether we were really in for Matthew Stafford or not is who knows about that as well. But if that's true, I like the ambition. I also like the ambition of these moves where you get Russell Wilson and you get Jameis Winston. But of course, the reasoning behind these things is because Joe Shane and Brian Dable are coaching for their jobs. And if Russell Wilson gets hurt, well, we still have a competent backup. They didn't want to have Russ get hurt and then you put in Tommy DeVito, let's be honest. And I'm a huge DeVito fan. I have his jersey. I wear it in public. People laugh at me. But they didn't want to, pin their hopes on Tommy DeVito. These guys are older in age. Injuries are going to happen. So yeah, I understand the reasoning, and I'm not disagreeing. I think for Joe Shane, it's a good move for his ability as a GM. It's a good move, and if it hasn't been apparent that I'm not a big fan of Joe Shane, then I think that just did it for you. So let's now go into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is the draft recap for the 2025 NFL Draft for the New York Giants. Let's just start off with the first pick that we made at number 3 overall. We got Abdul Carter, edge rusher from Penn State. Honestly, you can't fuck that up. Abdul Carter, excuse me, Abdul Carter. I will be honest, I have only watched him play in one game, which was the 2025 Orange Bowl against my Irish, and he looked phenomenal. He looked absolutely amazing. Fantastic player. He's one of those. Just watch the game. I could put my mother, who doesn't, she knows football, but she has no idea which players are good and which teams are good, but she knows the premise of the game. I could have put the Orange Bowl on the TV and said, okay, who's the best player? It won't take you that long for her to point out it's Abdul Carter, number 11. So yeah, it was a slam dunk pick. I think you ask most draft experts, which I'm not. I want to just get that out of the way as well. I'm not watching college football besides my Irish. I'm not breaking down film. I'm not a talent evaluator of any sort. But I think Abdul Carter. It was either Abdul Carter or it was Travis Hunter as the best talent in the draft. And when you can get one of those players in your organization, you have to do it. So, A plus pick from the Giants on this one. You can't really fuck it up, like I said. And of course, let's go into the really the interesting part of this video. I guess you could say Jackson Dart at pick 25. The Giants move back into the bottom half of the tail end of the first round for the NFL draft, and they go and get their perceived quarterback of the future. My opinion, I don't agree. I really don't agree. I don't think Jackson Dart is that player. Like I said, no one told me. None of my friends that were college football fans told me, "Hey, man, you need to watch Ole Miss play because Jackson Dart. Whoa, that guy is a talent." I got that with Oregon with Herbert, and I am not a huge Herbert fan, as you guys saw in my last season's videos. Not a big fan of Herbert, but people would watch Oregon for Herbert. No one watched Ole Miss to see Jackson Dart play. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe I don't know. I don't have friends that know college football well, but no one told me watch Jackson Dart. The only time I heard this guy's name was when they fucked up the end of the season. They missed out on the playoff, and Lane Kiffin said he felt sorry for Jackson Dart because he couldn't get him into the college football playoff. That's all I remember of Jackson Dart. That's all. I went after we picked this guy to be our future quarterback. After the first round concluded, I went to YouTube and watched Gruden's QB camp video of Jackson Dart, and I'm still not impressed. I don't get it. I guess it's a huge stretch, but I'm sure one that Brian Dable's making because he's not that smart. Is he has the capabilities, the raw abilities, raw physical attributes that are similar in some way to Josh Allen. I guess you can say that. Big cannon arm. He's mobile. He doesn't give a fuck. He's literally gonna, run into defenders. He's gonna, put his head, lower his helmet, and take the contact. He has the Josh Allen, you know, type of mentality. He has the Josh Allen type of playing style. And I guess the fact that he's coming into the New York Giants where he's going to sit the whole rookie year, hopefully learn, put a headset on, hold the clipboard, and really learn Brian Dable's system instead of him just clapping to get the ball hiked. I guess he could become something doable for the New York Giants. But another thing is we're in this little situation here. Let's just say Jackson Dart, under the tutelage of Brian Dable, becomes a serviceable quarterback. It's just a quarterback that can win us football games. That can get us to division titles. Let's just set the standard there for this situation. What if we don't? What if we're ass again? Murray's gonna come out, be pissed off. He's gonna fire Shane and Dable, and then you have Jackson Dart that was made for Brian Dable, and you're gonna just force him to the new GM because we know the owner meddles in football operations. Sadly, in this organization, I just have a feeling, smart organizations are like, hey, we drafted this kid. If you don't want him, we'll just keep him on the bench and we won't renew him. But knowing the Giants and their, like I said, their obsession with getting the next Eli Manning, I just think they're just going to force Jackson Dart on whoever. It's not going to fit the guy's system, and it's just not going to turn out well. And it's just going to be, a Daniel Jones situation. We don't have to go back to ancient history to see what what we are capable of doing. We can only we should only go back a few years. Like, let's be honest. But of course, the memes are getting made. Um, Damn, was it the 2019 season, the 2019 draft where we got Dexter Lawrence and Daniel Jones? People are saying that's what we got: an elite defensive player with a recheck quarterback that's not going to amount to shit. I don't. I'm super negative as a Giants fan. Obviously, slow. It's very obvious that I am a very negative Giants fan, and I have plenty of reasons. I have my reasons for sure. But even me, I'm like, damn, that's too negative. Like, let Jackson Dart learn. Hopefully, if I'm Jackson Dart, I'm praying, hoping that Dabes and Shane don't get fired. Like, I'm praying they don't get fired. Hopefully, they stay in the job, and then we can cook in year two. But that's his only chance of doing well is if those two guys stay in power for a next season, or shall I say the 2026 season, which is going to be a stretch in my opinion, based off our schedule, based off based off our schedule. Look at the teams we're playing. It's If we get 6 wins, it's like, whoa, what a miracle! Even and that's even with Russell Wilson as our quarterback and Abdul Carter in our defense. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for Shane and Dable to be in a job. And of course, just to give a rundown on the other picks that we made, At pick 65, we got Darius Alexander, defensive tackle from Toledo. Not going to make any more comments on that. I'm not going to talk out of my ass and say, oh, yeah, I know that guy. So, yeah. But Shane and Dable were really singing his praises at the press conference. So we'll see if that, that is a good pick. Cam Skedabo from Arizona State, the running back. That's the guy where, hey, that's a name I recognize. I've seen him play. Good. Everyone's saying, well, Tyrone Tracy Jr., he was a terrific player for us last season, but you can't, when you have that type of value in that pick, you got to take it. And of course, running backs, you can be, Tracy's not that superstar running back. I don't think anyone expects him to be. So kind of having adopting the mentality of running back by committee is probably smarter. So yeah, Scatterbo, Tracy. Let's see what happens with that. That one I am positive on that pick that we made at 105. Then at pick 154, we got Marcus Mbao, a guard from Purdue, because we know we need guards because Evan Neal sucks ass. And then at pick 219, we got Thomas Fedone, the second tight end from Nebraska. I don't know. I didn't really think we needed another tight end, but I guess we'll take it. And with the last pick of the draft for the New York Giants, we got Corey Black, cornerback from Oklahoma State. More just depth at that point or special teams. But that was my recap of the NFL draft. If I were to give them a grade, I would say, I don't know why I want to be so nice today, but I'm gonna give them a B minus. I think A+ for Abdul Carter. Who knows? I'm gonna give a question mark for Jackson Dart. I'm not a fan of his. I can see what Dave sees in him, and Dave's and Shane what they see in him. But I'm not gonna be like, yeah, this kid, I see it. Like I can't lie to you guys. I'm gonna be honest. So we'll see what happens with Dart, but seeing how this upcoming season is going to play out, and seeing that Daves and Shane are going to get fired, I just don't see how this kid's going to have a good career in New York. But that's all I got to say on the matter. I appreciate you watching the video, especially if you made it this far. Thank you very, very much. And if you can also show your appreciation by also liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting down below on the video. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Casas tying out.